that's the name of the game. Keep running, keep striving, maintain the same hunger, that fire, that burning desire. In this long run, I'm reaching higher now. Long run, yeah, a long game. Through the struggle, through the pain, I keep my eyes on the prize. Never lose sight in this marathon of life. I'm running through the night.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's up, Jacob? Welcome back to the morning run with Piano Man. Good morning, Jacob, my buddy, my friend, my comrade from the state of Michigan. What's up, man?
Yeah, just glad to be back on here, and we're one day closer to college football season, so just counting down the days.
Yes, sir. 38 days, and we are rolling. We're gonna be rolling, Jacob. And but now, you know what, Jacob? Let me put in perspective. And when I say this, then I gotta address our waiting congregation in the chat over here. But let me tell you something, Jacob. We may have 38 days today, but 7 days, bro, and fall camp opens. Now that's
Yeah.
what's up right there, man.
Oh yeah.
In 7 days from today, fall camp opens. But before we start, let me holler at, first of all, good morning to my producer Dwight is in the back office back there. He's doing 2 or 3 things at one time. So good morning to you, Dwight. Glad to see you, my brother. It's Stephen Hicks, 38 days and we rolling, but 7 days open camp. Good morning, Amber Nicole. I know why you here. Quit playing. I know why you here. But anyway, good to see you. Good morning, LaToya. Roll Tide. Good morning, Big Dog. Gotta eat. Big man. Hey, Jacob. Now that's a good brother too to have on your show sometime. He is from Tennessee. He's a Tennessee guy. And so
okay.
I got a pretty diverse group of people here and everything. Let's see, LaToya, Steven, Big Dog, Dwight. Hey, Gwen, how are you? Good to see you. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Gwen be doing 2 or 3 things at the same time herself. So it's all good in the hood. So thankful for 11 of y'all in the chat already and everything. And before we start, we all know today is the last day for the summer series. I have had a grand time. Jacob, I started the summer series back when I was on my last day of school. You know how that goes. And I was looking for something to do, and I was just really getting off into this, a couple of months back, trying to, do my shorts. And you know how the YouTube thing is, laying you on and doing your own thing, and you have to have 100 subscribers. So I worked to get that. And now I just say thanks be unto God that He has blessed me to now I have 270. So I need 30 more, bro, to crack 300 before the season starts. You know what I'm saying? So to shout out to all those that are that are listening, looking, and lurking. If you've never subscribed to the channel, and even to Jacob's channel, and today, Jacob, before we go any further, what is the name of your channel? Where can we subscribe to your channel?
I don't even honestly have a YouTube channel. This is just my second time even. I guess this is my third total time doing a podcast now, but my second on your show. But I'm mostly just on Twitter. If any of you guys want to follow me, I mostly just tweet about Michigan football on Twitter. My Twitter is just Underwood Unleashed. It's nothing crazy. If you want to follow me on there, you can. Like I said, I post stuff about Michigan and all of college football. But other than that, like I said, I'm really just getting into podcasting, so I appreciate you having me on your show.
Well, bro, I'm gonna do everything that I can do, Jacob, to encourage you to take that next step, bro. Because this is where it is. I'm just being honest with you. This is where it is. And one of the things that Piano Man does is I have a lot of different examples that I use, and I take those examples and I just kind of mix them all up together and marinate them and all that kind of stuff. And this is what you get. It's a cross of entertainment, information, this, that, and the third. Because life is serious enough, and but I want people to come over here and be able to enjoy yourself. You're gonna find out some things as well, and I'm gonna give you something to go home and think about, or go home and look up for yourself, and let you come to your own conclusion about certain things. And then I bring people like yourself in, to give us perspective from another, from another
Yeah.
place, like Michigan and everything, because we love Alabama, and that. But like you love Michigan, and you respect my fandom of Alabama. You respect Amber and those of us that hang out with you over there at Underwood Unleashed and everything. You respect that. We respect you back and all that kind of stuff. Now when you listen to us sometime, now I'm telling everybody this: if you come to Twitter and get on one of Jacob's spaces, now it's gonna sound like we don't like each other up in there. I'm not necessarily talking about Jacob. It's some of these other guys that's on there, man.
Last night was pretty crazy.
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness gracious.
That's one thing I have quickly learned is Alabama and Tennessee fans they can't get along too well together, and Alabama and Auburn fans, they can't get along well together.
Alabama and nobody can get along together. I mean, honest to goodness, we can't get along with nobody, but they come after us, Jacob. They really come after us. But I'm going to say this, and Amber, don't get mad with me, dear. Jacob, don't you laugh what I'm about to say, because I'm going to kick you off the show if you do. No, I'm just picking at you. Anyway, I did not get into that debate last night. And when the subject came up about Bama and Michigan and this and that and the third, right? Let me tell you why, Jacob. For 2 years in a row, y'all beat us. How can I refute that? How can I refute that?
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you guys do have 6 national titles since 2000, so we can't refute that either.
And this is true. But Jacob, in the words of Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? And that's the question. I think, and Jacob, you said this, and I know Amber said it. A couple of others of us have said it. In all of our fandom, no matter who your team is, you're Michigan, we're Bama, and good morning, Clinton Howard, Roll Tide, brother. If there's an Oregon fan, if there's an Ohio State fan, it doesn't matter. No matter where you go, you're going to find some delusional fan somewhere in the bunch. There's someone that's going to be delusional. I'm not one of those guys, dog. I'm just as rational as they come, and I'm a realist with it. Say what, Jacob?
I said, yeah, that's how I try to be too. Like I said, I like all of college football, not just Michigan. So, you know, I like to study other teams as well, and try to give my honest opinion on what I see, not just only Michigan or.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And you know what? As much as I love Bama, I saw this morning. Now, I told Amber this a little while ago. I take my cues a lot from and watch other people. I'm not gonna be like some other folks that I know and act like that I thought this up. Good morning, Double A. Good morning. I thought this up out of my head and everything. I saw something that was in our chat in Underwood Unleashed this morning, and I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask those in the chat this morning. All 15 of y'all. Yeah, lunatic fringe fans. You got that right, Amber. There's some lunatic. There's some.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
It was one dude last night, Jacob. I thought he was gonna blow a gasket.
Yeah, I think that was. I think his name is Roll Tide 81 on Twitter. He's like a really passionate Bama fan. He's actually a really cool dude.
God.
He's a really nice, cool dude. But man, if anyone says anything about Alabama or if it's another fan, he goes crazy on him, which, like I said, it is pretty funny sometimes, but it's like, man.
Good morning, Dr. Crystal. Roll Tide. Stephen, I'm not going to consider. Listen, Stephen, you're not delusional compared to some of these others. If you were on this, if you were on this Underwood Unleashed space last night, dude, you're not delusional at all. Amber's not even Amber's can come up with some crazy stuff, but Amber's not even in the same league with Roll Tide 81. I'm sorry, Amber, but you're not.
Are you do you follow the NFL much, Piano Man?
Yes.
Okay, so you follow the NFL. So that same guy in the space last night was trying to argue that he thinks Jalen Hurts is the second best quarterback in all of the NFL. I'm just like,
you know what?
You know, some people just only see things through their Bama fan glasses, and I know Jalen Hurts went to Alabama, but Jalen Hurts is not the second best quarterback in the NFL.
I think what you have to base what and all of this, I was going to bring that up. That was going to be part of our conversation this morning because of what all of this started basically of what Cam Newton said. And I think it's coming from the place that Cam said it, because one of the things Cam did say is this was his opinion. It was his opinion, and some of this stuff, Jacob, is not even, it's hard to pinpoint of who's first, who's second, who's third, because if you're looking at it from wins and losses and everything and Super Bowl appearances and this, that, and the third, well, there's no way that a person could put Josh Allen up there because Josh Allen has not won. But if you're going on traditional quarterback skill, now that's a different conversation and everything. And cause what's the guy's name? I can't remember his name last night. He was talking about Lamar Jackson, and I could be getting the space mixed up with when we were in the chat, because I asked him, what could Lamar do differently that Jalen doesn't do already if Lamar was with the Eagles? That's how I would have to look at it if you're going to put, when we begin to put QBs up there with each other, because let's face it, and I've got some Eagles fans in my crew. Basically, Susan and Carla are big Eagles fans. And when you look at the Eagles, I'm gonna say this right quick, and then we're gonna get on to the next thing. We'll come back to that though, Jacob. But when you look at the Eagles, look at their you got Saquon Barkley, who can run and who can catch. You got AJ Brown, you've got Smitty, you've got who's the tight end?
Goddard.
Yeah, you got guys who are just all world. And I mean, you got this massive O-line. Those dudes are good. And then you've got this vaunted defense made up basically of Alabama and Georgia players. There's no way around it.
That's pretty much the strategy that the Eagles used in drafting. They just took all players from Alabama and Georgia defense, and it's worked for them.
And it has worked for them. Now, my only argument is with Cam would be, what quarterback in his right mind wouldn't want to play for that type of team? But But then by that same token, all of these managers and everything, they don't think along those lines. They don't think like that. Good morning, Jermaine. Roll Tide, brother. They don't think along those lines. So this is what you get. So to me, part of that argument is, I mean, I'm not going to say that it's a bogus argument, but it's not an argument that Piano Man would have because let me pick out another thing. Let's look at Kansas City. No, that's not a good example either. Let's go back to the days of the 49ers when they had Montana, Rice, John Taylor, Roger Craig, Tom Rathman. That was a loaded offense. But look who you had on your defense. You had Ronnie Lott. You had Deion Sanders. You had Merton Hanks. Come on now. That defense back in that day was loaded. It was loaded. So ever so often, you're going to run into some teams, Jacob, and you can take it from here. You're going to run into some teams that's just, for the lack of a better word, they jacked. They juice.
Yeah.
They're juice. And they just so happen to have a good quarterback or a quarterback that just so happens to be on that team with all this juice floating around, and they're going to take it to the next level.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. And even the 49ers more recently when they had McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, George Kittle. Like, I mean, they had such a stacked team, and Brock Purdy pretty much just had to be a game manager. So, yeah, it definitely depends on, like, what situation you get into.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, if you're actually a quarterback, you want to be on an offense with talent stacked around you like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just hard for people to think Jalen Hurts is a top 1 or 2 quarterback in the NFL just because of everything he has around him. But I mean, he does everything that offense needs him to do. And then, like you said, with the stacked defense, it wasn't even close last year. I mean, they were easily, you saw what they did to Kansas City in the Super Bowl. They were by far the best team.
Yeah. I will say this now, and it sounds like, and I'm not playing devil's advocate at all. I'm just saying what I'm saying. If you had to put Patrick Mahomes behind center of the Eagles defense, the Eagles offense, Patrick Mahomes plays that position just a little different. You're gonna get a little different result. I think a lot of it has to deal with approach. And I think that's what Cam was talking about, is the approach of it. We're going to get into college football in a minute, but this was just some of the things that we be talking about on Underwood Unleashed, man. So if you're ever on Twitter and you see Jacob and you see Underwood Unleashed and everything, follow him. You'll see Amber there as well. You'll see me. I'm music and sports guy. And you get invited to one of these spaces, I'm gonna tell you now. You see the civility between Jacob and myself here. Now, dismiss all that when we get in a space.
Yeah, the spaces are like the Wild West. You never know what people are gonna say. They're crazy.
Just dismiss this here. But anyway, on the college football, and we'll come back to some things in a minute. Jacob, on the chat this morning, bro. We were talking about what we're going to finish what we talked about yesterday, and then we're going to go into what we're going to talk about today. Yesterday, we were talking about this thing with Michigan. And I'm going back, and I'm still going to stand by what I said. Until there is proof that has been presented, okay? Until there is proof that has been presented, and they've been found guilty of whatever. Until that happens, Jacob, in my opinion, you didn't do it. You didn't do it. Y'all just kicked our butts. That's just the bottom line. Y'all did that. I know some of my folks are going to get upset. Piano Man, what are you saying? I'm saying what I'm saying. It's because you sit down and you think about it for a minute. Now, the last time y'all beat it, which was last season, you beat us in the Florida and everything. Y'all didn't even pass the football. And y'all didn't even have your good guys out there. And you still beat us. You still beat us. That's reality, Jacob. I'm sorry. That's reality. You beat us. I ain't trying to sugarcoat it. I'm not trying to sweeten the deal. I ain't trying to butter up nobody. It is what it is. So I'm going to say this. As far as I'm concerned, bruh, y'all are 2-0 here, like recently against the Alabama Crimson Tide. I want to play you. I don't care where we play you. I want to play you.
I do too.
I really do. Now, if y'all want to play, look here, over here in the chat. If y'all want to play Michigan, say we want our lick back. Okay. Matter of fact, we need 2 licks back because we need to beat you twice. You see what I'm saying? And so,
yeah.
So Jacob, let's go back to these allegations. What needs to happen now?
Well, now we're at the point of just pretty much it's a wait and see game. You know, the whole process, it's been going on almost about 2 years now. This all started in the fall of 2023 with the story and investigation and everything. And now we're just at the process. We should be probably within 2-3 weeks, I would have to imagine. We're going to finally get just a result, and we're going to know exactly what's going to happen. I'm sure more information will be leaked out about it. Michigan did meet with the Committee on Infractions on June 6th and 7th in person. I think it was in Indianapolis. They met with the committee. Michigan had all their lawyers and attorneys and everything. And now it's just pretty much been a waiting game. Personally, I don't think Michigan will get a bowl ban just because, like I said yesterday, we didn't have any ineligible players, which is, if you look at the history of the NCAA, is mostly when teams get the most severe punishments is ineligible players. If that's, it could be academic fraud, changing people's grades to play, or paying players illegally. It could be any number of things, but I could see maybe Sharon Moore getting hit with a lengthier suspension. Right now, he's Michigan self-imposed 2 games on him, but I could see the NCAA extending that maybe up to 4 games, maybe 6. I don't know, but I could see 4. And then I think you're going to see Michigan probably get one of the largest fines in history. I could see that. Luckily, Michigan has enough money that we would be able to pay that off. But I don't think we're going to get a bowl ban or anything like that. Vacated wins, I'm not really sure. But personally, I don't really care about that because in my mind, I saw the games. I saw it happen with my own 2 eyes. So that's where I'm at about it. I just don't think Michigan's going to get a bowl ban. But besides that, I'm not really sure.
Well, what about, let me ask you this. What would, we got a couple in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and put Amber up here first. And I'm sort of on, and the 2 statements I'm going to put, I'm in total agreement with Jacob. So here we go. Amber said, we just need a 42-10 beat down against Michigan and I'll be good.
Oh my gosh.
I'll buy that.
Do you remember the game you guys played us in 2012?
Yeah.
I think it was to start the season, I believe, and you guys beat us.
Oh yeah, when we beat you, when we played you in Texas.
Yeah.
We played you in Texas, yeah.
You guys won the championship that year, I believe.
Yeah, we won it that year. Oh yeah, we beat y'all to sleep that day.
Yeah,
man.
You guys were really good.
Yeah, we were the business that day. I watched that game too, Jacob. I remember, and then I also remember when Mac Jones came in and kind of lit you up too.
Yeah,
but
you guys were really good that year too. That was you guys had a good team that year, but that was like the most stacked year of college football because you had that crazy LSU team and then Clemson, Ohio State. I think that was probably the year with the best teams overall.
We were the closest team to we were the team that came the closest to beating LSU
Yeah.
and really should have beat them. Now, when you talk about a Bama game that still makes me mad, that's the one for me.
I remember that game.
Beat LSU.
Yeah, I remember that game. Didn't Tua have a key fumble?
Yeah, at the wrong time, man.
I remember that game. Yeah.
But Jermaine said, with all respect, we want all the smoke with Michigan. We want our licks back anyway, and I agree with that. I would
love to play you guys again. I actually, funny enough, I saw just a post on Twitter the other day. It was like a guy that made his playoff prediction, and he had Michigan at a 10 seed and Alabama at a 7 seed. So we would come to your guys' stadium for the first round of the playoffs, and that would be awesome.
Well, that would be. Good morning, Ebony. Good morning, Roll Tide. But what I was going to ask too, though, Jacob. Now let's just go ahead and put all the cards on the table. Well, let's throw this card on the table first. You said Sharon Moore. Personally, this is me personally now. I think that Sharon is being done most unfairly because because he's there as the coach right now. I'm trying to choose my words correctly, but I believe he's being done unfairly simply because he was not the target of the investigation in the beginning. Now, in my opinion, Jim Harbaugh leaves Sharon Moore or whomever is coaching Michigan with the whole bag. Now, don't you think, what's up, Ephraim? Roll Tide. Don't you think Jim Harbaugh should bear the brunt of this punishment? Not just the present coach of Michigan, but Jim Harbaugh as well, because that's how this mess got started in the first place.
Yeah, I think you're right. More of this falls on Jim Harbaugh than Sharon Moore. Like we kind of talked about yesterday, Harbaugh, it was his duty to, know everything that was going on within his program, which he obviously failed at certain points to do. But yeah, I think this should mostly that's what makes it so tricky, right? Because Harbaugh's long gone. He's in the NFL. So how do you really punish him? But you want to punish Michigan, but you don't want to punish the people that had nothing to do with it. And mostly that whole staff is gone now, either in the NFL with the Chargers and Harbaugh, or doing something else. So it's so hard to, you don't want to punish a bunch of kids that had there's a bunch of kids now that are at Michigan that weren't even on the championship team, had nothing to do with it. And yeah, Sharon Moore is definitely kind of like being the fall guy, I feel like. He's just taken so much of this when he was an offensive coordinator. I mean, the thing with Sharon Moore that they've really got him for, he deleted text messages with Connor Stallions. They did recover his texts, and there was no like incriminating evidence or anything in there. There was no evidence proving that he knew about the cheating scheme or anything like that, but he still did delete text messages. So that's kind of what they got him for, I guess, failing to cooperate with an NCAA investigation. So yeah, the whole thing is really a mess. But before last season, or before the end of last season, when we beat Ohio State and then we beat Alabama, and then the main one was when we got Bryce Underwood to flip. A lot of Michigan fans were really almost just out on Sharon Moore because of the way he handled our quarterback situation last season. He didn't go to the portal. We needed to go to the portal last season for a quarterback, and he just refused to do it. And he said that our quarterbacks were good enough, and that was clearly wrong. So, I mean, Sharon Moore has a lot to prove still. He's a good recruiter. He's proven that he's a good recruiter. We're about to have probably 2 top 10 classes in a row with him. But overall, yeah, he has a lot to prove, and I could see him maybe taking the fall for this.
Gotcha. Well, Now, and when I ask this is going kind of, I'm gonna say kind of sting. I'm just asking what I'm asking. Do you see the death penalty on the table?
Like I said, no, I don't think. I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle because if you go on Twitter, you have Ohio State over here. They're saying 3-year bowl ban, vacated wins, everything, and then you have Michigan saying nothing's going to happen. I think it'll be somewhere in the middle. I could maybe see, like I said, I really don't think a bowl ban is going to happen. Honestly, that's just my opinion, but I think something will definitely probably happen. I think it'll just be more in the middle than what you know it's going to
Well,
be somewhere in the middle between you can't listen to Ohio State fans and then you can't listen to only Michigan fans. Um, I think it'll be probably maybe recruiting restrictions, a huge fine. Sharon
yeah,
Moore suspended a few games. Maybe they would give us a 1-year bowl ban, but the only good thing about a 1-year bowl ban is it wouldn't hurt recruiting really because that would be this season and all those kids we're recruiting wouldn't even be on the team yet. Um, but if you start getting into a 2-year bowl ban, a multiple year bowl ban, that's when it would really hurt. And I think that is when you would see players start to transfer because you don't want to be ineligible for the playoffs for multiple seasons. Um, so yeah, and then like I said, vacating wins, I'm not really sure. I
yeah,
don't think any wins will get vacated, but to me, that's not really the biggest deal. Um, that's more of a talking point for fans, honestly, because it's just something in the record book. We all saw the game happen, so to me, what do you think though? Do you think Michigan's going to get a huge hammer? I mean, I don't know.
I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. Too much money involved. Um,
Yeah, that's another
if
good
you
point.
okay, let's put it like this. Um, when you take, and not necessarily in a particular order, but when you take an Alabama, you take a Michigan, you take an Ohio State, you take a Notre Dame, uh, you take a Penn State, you take a Texas, lately Georgia, uh, Oklahoma, and then believe it or not, I was on a show last night, back and forth between us and on my other show would be Sharp and them, Nebraska. When you kind of take your old schoolers that are blue bloods, I call them really lifebloods of the NCAA and everything. When you take those schools right there and something of this magnitude happens, what you're also messing with is finances. You're messing with money,
Yeah,
money of magnitude that your mind can't even fathom. It
right,
can't even fathom. And
right.
so when you go to messing with that, now you're messing with money because your Michigans, your Ohio State, and I'm just gonna say this, y'all. And yes, SEC may be king when it comes down to football X's and O's and putting players in the league and this, that, and the third. But when it yeah, Georgia is a blue blood, and that's why I said Georgia is a blue blood. Uh, but when you go back and when you think about double A, when you think about old school football, Georgia was not there. Georgia, Georgia was there. Okay, think about it for a minute. Who ran the 70s? I can tell you who. Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, USC, Notre Dame. That was basically your top five. Ever so often, you had a Texas and an Oklahoma. That was it. Georgia was not there. Then Georgia comes along in 1980 and wins one. When did you hear from Georgia again? 40 years later. Georgia's
Right.
blue blood, yes, but not mainstream. You people wasn't knocking the TVs down to go watch them play. Not like they would do not like what they would do in Alabama, a Michigan, a Ohio State, a Notre Dame. Take the call. Let's be honest. Notre Dame is the king of everything. I'll say it. It really is. That's why you can't touch them. Listen, Notre Dame could go somewhere and do something just so dumb, but nothing will be done to them. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, and a double A. They are. I don't like them either.
You're kind of taking this down a different path, which is so interesting about this case. There's so many different paths you can take it down, but
Yeah,
Josh Pate, like I said yesterday, Josh Pate kind of had the same take as you, and he's been on that take for 3 or 4 months now. He kind of said that Michigan, from a financial perspective, they're not going to mess with Michigan because we're just talking about so many dollars and so much money for networks like Fox and just the Big Ten in general. So he's kind of been on that path that you're talking about for a while now, which is really interesting.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day,
I don't get a chance to hear Josh that much.
Yeah, at the end of the day, money kind of rules everything. It is what it is.
Money, and this can't. And Ebony, I understand which way you coming from, sis. I got you, baby girl. I got you right there. But it's that last part after those elliptical dots. Drain all the money in the conference because the Buckeyes are Big Ten football.
They're up there for sure. But
up there. But I'm gonna tell you this. But I'm gonna put it to you like this. When you sit down and listen to a lot of the talking heads, a lot of the money that Michigan has, you know what? I'm gonna say it like we in the hood, Ebony. That's that long bread. Michigan got that long bread, girl. That's that long bread. That's that heavy duty scratch. I'm just telling you. Now USC, okay. I'm glad we're having this conversation, Jacob. I hope you don't mind, bro, because it does.
I love this. It says
USC. It says USC and Oregon can make up for Michigan financially in the CFP, though. Yes and no. Let's look at it on the regular. Could USC and Oregon make up for Michigan week in and week out? But ain't no way, ain't no way. I'm with you, Double A. Ain't no way Ohio State leaving the Big Ten and coming to the SEC. They wouldn't see dominance again for a long time. Big Ten fits them. But USC and Oregon can make up for Michigan financially in the CFP. Yeah, I can see that. But what about on an everyday basis? What about every day?
The first thing I would even say about that is I don't even think USC is going to make the playoffs. I mean, they have a long way to go before they're even, I'm
gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna say this, y'all, and since we're having a wholesome conversation. Good morning, Michelle. Gil Cruz, my man, my partner, the man himself, the CO. Gil, this is Jacob. Jacob's a Michigan fan. Gil is an Alabama fan via the Syracuse Orange.
He said he coached a former Michigan linebacker and NFL player. I just was curious. Who did you coach, Gil? That's really cool.
Yeah. And but I don't see I don't see USC staying a full how many ever years in the Big Ten. I have a big feeling now. This is just Piano Man's opinion. That new pet conference that formed out there, I got a big feeling USC will eventually go back there.
Right. It would just make so much more sense. I mean, just from a geographical standpoint. I mean, the Big Ten is so crazy now. You got all the way from Los Angeles with USC or whatever, and then you got all the way to New Jersey. New Jersey with Rutgers all the way on the other side. I mean, literally coast to coast. The Big Ten is just getting so crazy at this point.
Oh yeah. Now, Ohio State is a big dog. Yes, they are a big dog. But sit down and think about it for a minute. Double A. Let's go. Let's take Ohio State out of the Big Ten and let's put them in the SEC and let's see how this stacks up. Bama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Texas, Georgia, Florida, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Tennessee. Yeah. LSU, Auburn,
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't
Ohio.
think there's no
Go ahead,
denying
Jake.
that if Ohio State went to the SEC, you guys would obviously, I mean, the scale would be so tipped at. I mean, the Big Ten is just getting to the point where we can maybe say it's an even conference or what, with the SEC. But if we lost Ohio State, or even I think if Michigan went to the SEC or Oregon, or if you guys gained one more good team from the Big Ten like that, it would be so tipped in your guys' favor again.
Yeah.
I saw one more interesting point about the whole TV thing. I saw in the last 3 seasons, or I think it was the last 4 seasons, on Big Noon Kickoff, that they have a Fox. They're Fox, but they're sponsored with the Big Ten or whatever partnership. And Ohio State has been on there 24 times, and Michigan was on there 18 times. So yeah, Ohio State and Michigan are really the ones, and you can sprinkle in Penn State a little bit too. They're really the ones that carry all all the money in the Big Ten, and they make Fox all that money. And like I said, that's one reason I don't know if they're going to put a death penalty on Michigan, just because I think that would hurt. They would hurt their pockets a lot, and I don't know if they're willing to do that.
That's who. There you go, right there, Jacob, Sam Sword, and former Tom Brady teammate at Michigan.
That's awesome. Okay.
OG Gill is good brother. He knows a lot of people. Now, if that did happen, if that happened, there'd be a lot of 7 and 8 game win for most teams. If Ohio State and if they came to the SECs, it's nearly that way now. Yes, but you know what though, Double A. But when all of this stuff begins to clear out, and you get these COVID guys, and somebody asked this yesterday, we're gonna hop this too, Jacob. We're gonna be all over the place today, Jake, because today the last day of summer series and all that kind of stuff, and I do have an announcement to make and everything. I'm glad you're here, Jacob, so you can hear it. And I just have an announcement to make. I do it toward the next few minutes and talk about what's about to happen and everything with the show and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, one of the things that's about to happen with this, the way things are being constructed now, we've got this. You still got some players from the COVID deal, and I think that's about to weed itself out sooner or later.
Yeah, I think this. Go ahead. Yep.
Who was up, Double L? Who is that team now that has the 30-year-old playing college football?
If you look at just teams with a lot of experience on their roster, you can look at Penn State this year. Michigan did it 2 years ago. Ohio State kind of did it last year. Penn State is looking at doing, they kind of followed that formula this year. They brought back a lot of experience. Also, Clemson brought back a lot of experience. I'm not sure. I would have to look at their roster for a specific. Like you said, I do believe this is the last year of COVID eligibility, right? Because there was 21, 22, 23, 24. This is 25. So this would be their 5th season, I believe. So I do believe after this season, there's not going to be any more 6th years or, COVID. It got so weird with COVID. There was people that, like you said, that were like 6-7 years of college football, which was just crazy.
And now Ephraim says all teams need to go back to original conference alignment. I totally agree. I've been said it. I'm in agreement with you, Ephraim. Get the petition started, and I'll be the first to put my name up there in big bold print. And everything.
Amber said Alabama too. Did you guys bring back a lot of older experience?
Well, we ain't bring back no 30-year-olds.
Yeah. I don't know about. Like I said, it's mostly 4th and 5th year guys.
Arkansas has that old man playing 30 years old.
Arkansas.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Arkansas is a 30-year-old?
Has a 30-year-old playing football. That's what I was asking. 30 years old.
That's
Alabama may have bought back some experienced players, but Alabama didn't bring back nobody 30 years old, Amber. Now, if they did something wrong somewhere, it's something to matter. I'm serious now. It's something to matter.
That's funny.
You 30 and playing football, but stranger things have happened. Chasing money, and all that good stuff. But I'm just saying, Jacob, college football is crazy right about now, man. It's crazy. And until this stuff gets settled out and weeded out and this, that, and the third, it's going to get worse.
This is kind of off topic, but just speaking of old players and eligibility and stuff, I'm not sure if you follow hoops at all. Do you follow like Alabama basketball?
I do to a certain degree.
Okay, so you probably
after
know
football season, then I'm all in.
So there's that guy on Tennessee. I think his name was like Zachary Ziegler or something like that. He didn't even have like any reason. I mean, he just appealed for an extra year of eligibility. It's like people are just like trying to get so many years of eligibility now. It's crazy. Like he had no injuries. He had nothing. He basically just wanted another year eligibility. And I do believe the NCAA denied him. But like you said, it's getting so crazy with people having 6-7 years because you can get a red shirt and then you can get, if you get hurt, a medical red shirt and then COVID year. And then you're on like your 7th year, man. It's crazy.
Well, like Diego Pavia did it with remember he was at New Mexico State, then he transferred and went to Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia, according to what I've read, he was actually supposed to come out last year, win an appeal, and they gave him an extra year of eligibility for some reason or another. He's back at Vanderbilt.
I think the NCAA just passed a rule that if you played didn't he play at like Division II or didn't he play at a lower level? I think they made a rule that said that if you play at a different level besides like Division I, I don't think those years count against you anymore.
Yeah, Gil Cruz says we have experience finally since we always lose players early to the draft, and that's true too. This is true.
That's what you want though, right? If you have a good program that's firing on all cylinders, you're going to have a lot of guys that are 3 years and out.
Okay, so if you played in a junior college, you get an extra year.
Yes, that's what it is. You played at a junior college. I don't think those years count against you.
And that's what happened with Stetson Bennett as well. He did it. Steven said he's 72. Do I have any eligibility left? It probably benefits, Steven. Probably benefits, sir. Probably benefits.
Latoya said a 30-year-old receiver. That is just unbelievable. I mean, at that point, you either got to get to the NFL, you got to get a job, you got to do something.
Yep.
That's crazy.
This is the reason why Justin Jefferson could come back, because he played a year in junior college. Cool.
Right.
Cool.
Yep.
See, so it does benefit to a certain degree, and then in some cases it just looks plumb crazy. 30 years old, and you've already played in Major League Baseball, but 30 years old, and now you're playing at Arkansas, playing wide receiver, and
that's crazy.
Okay.
That is so crazy.
And Ephraim said, you see what Ephraim said? Well, I'm going to put this up here. Big Ten no longer. It's the Big Ten no longer. It's the Big 25. And in Arkansas,
right.
Like
we were talking about earlier, the conferences don't make any sense anymore to me. I remember growing up and it was really like the Big Ten, and I don't understand what we're doing with the conferences anymore. Like I said, you got all the way from Rutgers on the east side of the United States or whatever, all the way to Los Angeles. I mean, and it's one thing for football because, there's one game a week or whatever, and it's not that big of a deal. But think about these other like little sports that team, like just the smaller sports that don't make as much revenue or whatever, and they're trying to fly like all that way to play games. It's just crazy.
I'm not digging it. I'm really not. I'm just, excuse my old schoolness here. I just believe I'm like Ephraim. He said earlier they should go back to the original alignment, and I'm just a
Yes.
firm believer that Oklahoma, Nebraska, Colorado, Kansas, Iowa State, those guys belong in that darn Big 8 conference. And then in that Southwest Conference, put Arkansas and Texas Tech and all those guys, Baylor, put them back in and call it the Southwest Conference. Leave that Big 12 foolishness alone. Go back to what it was. It was the Southwest Conference, and then that Pac 12 or Pac 8 or Pac 12. You had Washington, USC, UCLA, Oregon State.
Yeah, didn't it started off as the Pac-8, didn't it? And then it went to the
Yeah, then it
Pac-10
kind
and
of
then the
increased it.
Pac-12.
Everybody on that Pacific Coast, Stanford has no business being in the ACC where you're playing 4,000 or 5,000
Yeah.
miles away from home.
Exactly.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
that makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I said, it's one thing for football because the football programs make so much money they can afford to fly like that. Like I've been saying, I've been think about it for the smaller sports. Like, I mean, the soccer team or whatever flying from Rutgers to Oregon for a conference game. I mean, it's just so it's not logistical, it's not smart at all. And I don't think it's going to be able to last that long. I mean, that's just crazy. That's like a 6-7 hour flight from one side of the country to the other. I mean, it makes no sense at all.
I mean, it is crazy. It is just crazy, and I'm not digging it. And like the SEC was Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Auburn, LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Tennessee. Somebody I'm missing.
You guys got
Anyway,
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Go
Now,
back.
correct. I was just gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong here, but for the most part, aren't all of the SEC teams like at least fairly close? Like regionally close together. So that at least your guys' conference makes a little bit more sense. I feel like.
And that's what go back to when it was the real deal. Missouri, I forgot. Missouri was in the Big 8.
Yep, I remember
they
that.
were the Big 8, or they were in the I think they were in the Big 8. Them and when them and Arkansas joined, coming out of the SWC, back in the day, man, that stuff makes, man, go back to when it was when I was a kid and let me appreciate it. Because with like we were talking about Nebraska last night, and with over at Sharpshooters and everything, talking about different teams that came out of Nebraska. But I wanted to take it back to the time when it came out of the conference, and that Big 8 conference was basically a 2-team conference, Nebraska and Oklahoma. Everybody else got in where they could fit in. And so we've gotten out of hand. Basically, that's all I'm saying, Jacob, is that we've gotten out of hand, man.
I agree with you. It's just so weird now seeing. I still got to get used to seeing, like a Michigan versus USC as a conference matchup, because that used to be, that back in the day, that would be the Rose Bowl to end the season or whatever. And that would, it's just taking some time to get used to that for sure.
And Ephraim, I don't say that they don't want to expand. Shucks. It's like what you said in the it didn't make sense. Why bring in it didn't make sense. I'll trade Auburn for free. Now leave Auburn in there because I like beating up on them, and and
you guys getting Texas and Oklahoma, I think, just was a really easy, that made sense. I think Texas and Oklahoma and the SEC made sense.
But you know what though, Jacob? I can see that, and I can see it. I'm going to say this, and I don't know how much the folk in the chat will agree with me, But when you bring in these teams, it's doing basically nothing for the other teams within the conference.
Yeah.
It mostly benefits the conference as a whole.
Right.
It just the conference. But Alabama's not getting any monetary value for bringing Texas in. Just like if we did bring in Ohio State or we did bring in Michigan and they joined the SEC, how would that help Alabama financially on an everyday basis? Game-wise, yeah, I can see that. But it's a money grab. Thank you, Double L. It's a money grab for the conference, and it's not going to help these individual teams.
Right. Yep. How do you just kind of a fun question in, maybe even 10 years from now, what do you think college football is going to look like? Do you think there's just going to be one super conference with the Big Ten, SEC?
Yep.
Kind of what I'm thinking. I kind of think that's what we're heading towards. We're heading towards a SEC Big Ten super conference, and everyone else I feel like is going to be left behind.
Yeah, and either you have good morning, sharpshooter. Be sharp in the house, everybody. And I'm just saying, and it's getting to the point now, Jacob, where it's basically unwatchable. It's basically unwatchable. Yeah. You don't know who's who anymore. You don't know where they're going to be going. Things change from year to year, and you just got a lot of stuff going. And I'm going to tell you something else I'm watching since we're on the subject of college football, like the way we're talking. Just like when Memphis getting turned down going into the Big 12?
Yeah, the Big 12 rejected them.
They rejected them. You're going to find that. That's about that. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. And okay, good job, good point, Ephraim, because I didn't think about bringing this up. Clemson wants out, but can't.
Yeah, because Florida, they're in that contract with the ACC for so many years, but that's another thing. I think it expires. I could be wrong, but I was looking at this a while back. I think it's like 2031 or something like that. So they do have a couple more years to go, but I could see Clemson, as soon as they have the opportunity, I could see them leaving the ACC for a bigger conference.
Check this out. Remember, it was them and Florida State.
Yep.
Both of them wanted out. See, so you got this, and then the question would be, where would they go? Because let's just face the facts. Those two schools, for popularity's sake, run the ACC. But when it comes down to money, now it's SMU. When a team from Texas is in the mix, the whole financial landscape of the whole thing changes.
Yeah. Yeah, SMU, yeah, they have a lot of money.
And got to remember now, SMU is a private school. They're private.
So they don't even have to disclose any of their NIL or anything, do they?
They don't.
They're like Miami. Miami is like that. I was just gonna say Miami is also like that, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Miami's private.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went and looked that up, and I don't have my information with me, but Miami's private. SMU is private. Is it TCU?
Yeah, TCU, I believe, also is. Yep.
It's either TCU or Baylor. One of those are private as well. Man, it's all systems go there.
Yeah.
And so that's the point that I'm making. Whenever a school in Texas is in any mix, the landscape is about to change. Good morning, Governor. The governor of Discord, JB718. What's up, Governor? Good morning, sir. But I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. By 2031, maybe some things are being evened out. I probably won't even be podcasting anymore. I don't know. The heck if I know. But I know
Right.
this.
Yeah.
The landscape of college football is about it. No, it's not about. It is changing day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, season by season. Something changes. And the
Yeah, we're
game that
having
I
just
love
so
so
many
much
changes.
is not the
We've
same.
had so many changes so fast too, you know. We went from the 14 playoff to the 12-team playoff, and now they're already talking about a 16-team playoff. And you're right, it's just crazy. Like it
I'm telling you,
makes me like the
man.
14 playoff. I thought the 14 playoff was perfect, you know. I just always
mean,
think it should be so hard and so special to win a national championship. If you're not one of the top 4 teams, then
right.
you know, I don't think there needs to be 16 teams in the playoffs, but that's just me.
I mean, it like what someone said. Some coach made a statement and said, "Why don't you just go ahead and make it do like basketball and make it a 64-team playoff?" I said, "I'll stop watching football. I'll
Yeah, that's
just
what I
watch
said
straight
too.
pro.
It was like
I just watch the pros and call it a day because
winning.
we've gotten out of hand."
Yeah, I agree with you.
And so 20-team playoff. I mean,
He said,
choose the Big 20.
from in the chat, FF from, or however you say that exactly. He said it should be an 18 playoff. I think that would have been good. I think we should have tried out 8 before we went to 12. 18 play because with the 12-team playoff exam, I mean, we've only had 1 year as a sample size, so it's hard to say exactly, but we had a lot of blowout matchups last year in the playoffs. We had Penn State demolished SMU, and then they beat Boise State pretty handily. You had I mean, Ohio State blew out Tennessee. I mean, you have so many games that are just, it's like they're just there just to make money, but they're not competitive games. There's no real reason. I don't think there's ever been a true season where there's 12 national title contenders each year. You know, I would say each year there's probably about maybe 5 teams that you really think could win the national championship in any given season. Like last year, we knew SMU wasn't going to win. We knew Indiana wasn't going to win. Boise State, they didn't have a chance. Arizona State didn't have a chance. So it's like, yeah, we're playing extra games, but at some point, it's just kind of, you got to think, what's the reason behind it? It's just money, but I don't know. 4-team playoff to me was perfect, but
I could have stuck with the 14, 16. Because the way I look at it is win your games, win your conference, you're in. I mean, it's just that simple.
JB 718 in the chat made a good point. He said about 5-6 teams every year really have a chance, and that's what I'm saying. Like last year, you had Oregon, they were heading into the playoffs undefeated. They had a chance. You had Ohio State just because of their roster and their talent. Even though they ended their season obviously badly, but they had the talent always. Then you had Georgia, you had Texas, and then if you want to throw in Notre Dame, or even maybe Penn State, those are 2 wild cards. If anyone really thought they could win the whole thing, I don't know. But, half the field was teams that everyone knew wasn't going to win the whole thing.
Like the big stink was Indiana.
Yeah, like Indiana. They were a cool story, but, I mean, they did deserve to be there, I guess. They only lost that 1 game, but, I mean, it's just...
Big stink was Indiana. Big stink was. I'm gonna say this: even though Clemson won the ACC, I think it was the way it was done. The way that it was really done with Clemson is what it all came down to with them and SMU, and then both of them gets in, and Bama does not get in and everything. But I'm gonna save that subject for for another time.
Oh yeah, Bama would have been way more competitive than at least like SMU, or I know that was the final debate pretty much for the final slot, and you guys didn't end up being on the right side of it. But that's a slippery slope too, because I think you gotta say the games do matter. Bama had a better roster and everything like that, but you guys did lose 3 games. So that was it's a hard debate to, if we're just going to say, well, Bama has a better roster, then why are we really even playing the game?
And so
Alabama will always have a better roster than Indiana,
Yeah, exactly. What's up, Nero? What's up with you? I'm gonna put it to you like this. I went back and I watched the Ole Miss and Auburn game. I think that's who they were playing. And Ole Miss lost 2 games there that they really should have won. They lost to Kentucky and they lost to Auburn and
Florida.
And they lost to Florida. But that Auburn game, is what kept them out of it. They should have won the game. That's the game that kept them out of it. What's up, Jay Witt?
That's part of the reason why last year I didn't really feel too badly for Ole Miss and Alabama, because you guys, both teams controlled your own path, and you guys both lost the games on the field.
Yeah.
You guys had that chance versus Oklahoma, and then you guys obviously Vandy. I mean, and same with Ole Miss. If you lose 3 games at that point, you might get lucky and you might sneak in depending on the field and everything like that. But if you get to the point of 3 losses, your fate is not in your own hands at that point. And if you don't make it, you don't make it,
What's up, Jay Witt? He said Roll Tide 10-2 this year. Jay Witt, let me ask you this. Give me the 2 losses. Give me the 2 losses. JB said it's not with the fact that we just lost, it's how we lost. And that's what I've been saying. It's how we lost. I looked at how go back to the SMU Clemson game in that ACC championship. I think that's who played that. Yep. And it is how Clemson won that game. That's when I looked and saw some shady stuff going on. And to me, Dabo Swinney, that's why I said it before, I say it again, that Alabama had considered him as the next head coach after Coach Saban left. I would have been switching teams. I would have burned up all my Bama paraphernalia. I wouldn't have never went to another Bama game in my life.
Latoya made a great point, exactly what I was trying to say. Don't leave it up to the committee, just prove it on the field. If you get to a point where you have nine wins and 3 losses, you really just left your fate up to the committee. And like I said, there's probably going to be a certain year where a 9-3 team makes it. Well, Clemson did last year, but that was because they won their conference. But there probably will be a season where a 9-win team makes it just one of the final slots. But like you said, just leave no doubt and don't put it in someone else's hands.
Jacob, somebody has a question for you. Jacob, who would you schedule?
Who would you schedule Michigan's non-conference games? Well, we do play Texas in a couple. We played Texas last year, and then we play Oklahoma the next 2 years, and then we play Texas again. So that's kind of cool. But if I could pick just any 3 teams for us to play in a non-conference game, I'm trying to think. We've played Alabama a lot recently. We played Florida there for a while too with Jim. When we had Jim Harbaugh, we played Florida like 3 years in a row. I'm trying to think, man. I think Tennessee would be kind of cool to play. They have a pretty vocal crowd on Twitter. They seem like a passionate fan base. South Carolina, someone said that could be a good one. Michigan versus Ole Miss, that could be a fun one. Lane Kiffin, he's kind of he's a pretty funny coach that I enjoy. He's definitely a little bit odd and does things his own way, but he's pretty active on social media and always making jokes and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with Lane Kiffin like a lot of people do. Tennessee and Michigan would be awesome. Big Dog said Tennessee and Michigan would be awesome. I agree. I saw a lot of your guys' interactions last year with Ohio State heading into your playoff matchup. And for the most part, you guys all were really nice and passionate fan base. And I know you guys, if you remember that game, Piano Man, they sent about 30,000 people up to the Horseshoe.
Yeah.
So Tennessee traveled and they were loud on Twitter. And even though the game didn't go their way, you know, that's fun to play teams that have fans like that.
Oh, they got up there and got embarrassed, and I you
Yeah.
know, I didn't care because I don't like neither one of them. But I know you tried, Nero. But AA, I got to address this right here, right quick, Jacob. Pen man, I thought you said you're a Bama fan until your casket dropped. A man got his limitations now. I'm a Bama fan until my casket dropped. That's the truth. But if Dabo Swinney had became the next head coach of Alabama, all my paraphernalia, I would have had a burn. I got a burn barrel in my backyard. All my Bama stuff would have went in there.
Was that ever actually being talked about or considered or no?
No. And I think, and you know what? And I'm of the firm persuasion. This is why Dabo and them did what they did in that. Now, just talk about conspiracy now. This is why Dabo and them did what they did in that SEC championship, ACC championship game. Them and Southern SMU. Clemson were blowing them boys out. See, and then fooling around and let SMU back in the game, and they did just so much to.
They might have did that just to keep you guys out of the playoff.
Yeah, I'm just not a Dabo guy. I'm not a Dabo guy. I'm finna be honest with you. I wasn't Dabo. I was not Dabo when he was playing for Alabama. I didn't like him like that. He reminded me. Amber, don't kill me when I'm about to say, sis. He reminded me too much of Vince McMahon.
I didn't even know Dabo played for Alabama. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even know
that. I'm gonna tell you what. You said his defenses are great. Get at the Greg Venables, Nero.
I was going to say, yeah, Brent Venables at Oklahoma was a mastermind behind his defense.
He was the mastermind. It wasn't Dabo. That was Greg Venables. Yes, sir. That was Greg. But let me see what the governor of Discord say. I said that in the Discord that Clemson was about to make this game the game to push the ACC. Yeah, you did. You said that last year. Yeah, you said it. You said this. You said that. But if I'm telling you, AA, if they had have gotten Dabo as the head coach, all this was going in the garbage, in the burn back, and I was going to burn it, and I was going to become somebody else's fan, and I was going to act like that I've been there from the word go. I would have went read up on the history of them.
That would have been funny. I saw one comment that said, I think it was Larry said, Michigan and Notre Dame. That matchup's actually coming back here pretty soon. We haven't played Notre Dame since 2019, but here in a couple of years, I believe it's like 2029 and then 2030, we do have a 2-game series back with Notre Dame. So that'll be cool. Michigan and Notre Dame always was a great rivalry, but we stopped playing them for about a decade.
Yeah, if you take out my producer says, if you take out the SEC, what teams are worth playing? Well, in the words of Jim Harbaugh, nobody. Nobody. It's not the same.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of SEC teams that I have never really even seen Michigan play. Like I said, we've had our games versus you guys, and there was a 3-year stretch. I think we played Florida 3 times in a row, which was kind of weird. We played South Carolina in a bowl game a while back. Trying to think. We played Georgia in the playoffs. Obviously, they whooped us. I'm not sure if Michigan's ever played Auburn. At least not that I can remember.
No. Now, I'm going to tell you what one of my funnest games watching play is Michigan when they played South Carolina and that doggone Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah. They still play that
Man,
clip, man. They still play that clip to this day, and that's been about almost 15 years ago now.
I'm gonna tell you what. Yeah, from Notre Dame has it made. Notre Dame has it made. But I'm just telling you, this is the state of college football right about now. I'm just being honest with you. And uh 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 Michigan, I want y'all. I'm gonna say this and it's coming from Piano Man. Can't speak for nobody but me. If they don't find you guilty, Jacob, I want a rematch between Bama and Michigan as soon as possible. I need Michigan to win all their games. I need
I
Michigan to win them all. I need Michigan to win them all. I don't, now I heard what Jay Witt said about going 10-2 about the and everything. And I'm gonna give my prediction here in just a minute because we're gonna get ready to get off here. I've got some things to do, but I have to, you all do know that summer series and man, Piano Man has had a time, has had an enjoyment, and Jacob has been Jacob with the Michigan. We talking about Michigan football, Big Ten football, just college football in general. What a way to end the summer series and everything. And I'm not gonna say we're ending it with controversy, but it's just ending it with some enlightening things. And Jacob, I appreciate you coming, big dog. I appreciate you and everything. But I need us to really push Jacob into podcasting. I need him to get there because he has some interesting takes and everything. Because here, let's see. Okay, hold up. Somebody called me here. Gentlemen, mostly it would be Ohio State, not Michigan. What we talking about, Ephraim? It was the. Oh, yeah.
I think he's saying it would be more likely you guys play Ohio State than Michigan, which, yeah, I mean, that could happen too. You guys haven't played or you guys played them in the national championship in the COVID year.
Yeah, and we beat them. It wasn't no ball game.
They beat you guys the time before that with Zeke Elliott, 85 yards through the heart of the South.
That game still bothers me too, Jake.
Yeah, you guys should have won that game. They had their third string quarterback. You guys had the better team. I'm still mad about that game.
I don't know. What's up, level one? I was at the 2001 Citrus Bowl when Michigan beat Auburn 31-28. Okay, cool.
Gil Cruz says, my buddy Mike Hart played at Michigan. He was a good running back. I don't know if he yeah, man, everyone knows Mike Hart. I don't know if he was that's really your friend. That's really cool. He was our running backs coach too. He's a legend, man. Mike Hart is one of the best.
Oh yeah, Mike Hart could run that football, man. Mike Hart could run.
He was our running backs coach for a while too, but he had some health issues going on. But yeah, Mike Hart will always be a legend. He was one of the guys I remember watching growing up.
Cool. I want to thank everybody for coming. Now I need to make an announcement, Jacob, and I'm glad you're here. First of all, the first announcement that I want to make is, as you all know, today is the last day of the summer series, and I'm going to miss doing the summer series. Work calls. School teachers go back tomorrow, and Jacob, it's been real fun. But this school teacher is not going back. Yesterday, I didn't tell you all. I thought somebody would have said something about it. I told you all that I had to go make do some life-changing stuff. What's up, Chris Camp? I had to do some life-changing stuff. So I want you all to know yesterday, I officially retired from my job.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. How many years?
Yeah, I officially retired, Stephen.
How many years did you have?
Actually, I put in 10, but I was with another part of the state. I was with another part of doing something else. And so I didn't say anything to the crew. I didn't say anything. Only person I said something to was Dwight, because he's my producer, and I just needed some advice from him on what to do. So yesterday I officially signed my papers, and I am retired. So
That's got to be like one of the best feelings ever, man.
Oh man, it's different. It's very different, and I've been really praying, man, and everything. But let me put it to you, DSGB84. Good to see you. That's who you need to get hooked up with too, Jacob. DSG down South Georgia boy, 84, good brother, and everything. But anyway, I signed my papers yesterday. So Dwight said, he told me at 5 a.m. I was like, sleep. I know, at least I still told you. Can't say I ain't tell you, bro. But summer series will end, but the long run will not. But the long run will not end. So I'm coming back on in the morning at the same time. But we're going to do just a little bit of different format, which I'm glad Jacob is here, because Jacob and I are going to be doing some things together. And what day did we choose, Jacob? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday mornings I'm free. So if you ever want me on either of those mornings, that works with me.
And so we're going to be doing some panel stuff, and we just doing it like that. So our sessions are going to really be heating up here. I'm still B Sharp. Thank you everybody. But B Sharp, you have not gotten rid of me, brother. You have not gotten rid of me. No, sir. Yeah, that don't No. You got that right, Double L. Honeybees. Here we. Yep. That's all I got to say.
Mm-hmm. And right now, like you said, we're kind of slogging through the off season, but once we actually have games to talk about and stuff like that, man, it's going to be so much easier and so much.
Thank you,
right now we're in the dead period of college football.
We're in the dead period, but next week now starts training camp for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody starts next week. So y'all, go ahead, Jacob.
There's always little news you can get out of training camp, and there's always tons to talk about. So yeah, I can't wait for that.
And I'm going back to my 3 X factors again, everybody. The 3 X factors for Alabama will be, especially on offense, the O-line, Ryan Grubb, and injuries. I've not changed my tune. I've been saying that all spring, Jacob, that will be the X factors that will either be the success for Alabama, or it's going to be the downfall, injuries. Because we were when I went to our spring game, we looked like a scene from the MASH the movie, just injuries everywhere. Yes, Michelle, I will be doing some NFL, but we got something else on the horizon, Michelle, and we're going to be doing some more things, and so just be on the lookout. But yes, we're going to be doing some NFL. We're going to be talking a lot of different things. And don't get me wrong. I know, y'all hear me say all the time how much I love the Lord and things like that. But I'm also a realist at the same time. And people like to talk about betting and gambling and things like that. So we be talking about overs, unders, point spreads, this, that, and the third on both college and pros. So it's going to be a variety. So we're going to be doing some things. So I just want to tell y'all this morning that, yes, it's going to be the last morning of the summer series, but starting in the morning at the same time, it will be the long run. And we're going to be talking about just different things. And so that's how it's going to be. Now, Jacob, tell us where we can find you, bro.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I don't have my own podcast or stream or anything like that. I'm just really getting into it and enjoy being on your show, and I'm so thankful you had me on your show. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's just Underwood Unleashed, just the word Underwood and then Unleashed. That's it. And I mostly just post about Michigan stuff or all of college football in general. But yeah, I'll be on there a lot during this season. And yeah, like I said, I love all of college football, not just Michigan. So I can't wait for the season. And yeah, it's going to be fun when we actually have real games to talk about.
Yeah. And we're going to also be dealing with things for the news that we get from training camp. Now, look here. Now, I'm going to say this now. What's up, KT? What the business is? You know. Now, let me tell you what. I'm going to put it to you like this. I'm not an insider, and neither do I claim to be. The only thing I'm inside is my house. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the inside. At least I'm at my house. I'm like Fred Sanford, Jacob, you know, when they went to Junior Cooper's funeral and everything, they went to the church, and then Esther came home to Fred's house with them, and they was all in there drinking. And she said, you just left the house of the Lord. And Fred said, and now I'm in my house. Pour me another one of them, Grady. And now I'm in my house. You know, I'm in my house. I'm in my house. And so, but I'm telling you, I'm no insider for Alabama or anything, but I'm inside my house. And whatever I learn, whatever I hear, and things like that, if it's worth reporting, I report it. But if it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo, I even put that out there. You know, I don't do that. You know, I don't do that. I don't have time for that. But it's going to be amazing at the things that we hear coming out of the training camps and things like that. But Piano Man is not going to just be reporting any and everything, Jacob, because I'm looking for injuries.
Right.
I don't want them to happen, but that's what I'm going to be listening out for, who it could happen to and things like that. Because I'm telling you now, injuries are going to be a part of the game, and either it's going to make us or break us. So, you know,
is there one key position that maybe you guys have a battle in this year in camp, or that, you know, uncertain at one position where two guys are battling for a spot? Or do you guys have any interesting stories like that you're looking forward to?
We're looking forward to finding out exactly who the quarterback's going to be. Now, I'm not going to get off into that because everybody's saying tie.
That's what I've been hearing,
But I'm going to put it to you this way. I've got it. I've got it in my phone. I sent out a link. I think I did, because I'm like the white now. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was looking cross-eyed there for a minute. But I'm just saying, if go back and listen to Ryan Grubb's interview, he just said, if we were to play tomorrow or whenever, yes, Ty would be the guy. But nobody has said that Ty would be the quarterback. But, you know, so the battle, like KT says, the battle ain't won. I'm like Steven, I just want a dominant O-line. Jacob, you can get back there. No, we don't want you back there playing quarterback, because you a Michigan guy. You be throwing to the wrong person. No, we don't want you back there. But whomever gets to be the quarterback, we want a dominant O-line, a healthy O-line, a balanced O-line, and a balanced offense. Let me put it like that. Not a run first, run only, where the quarterback has more yards than the running back. No, that can't happen this year. I'm going to put that out there. That can't happen this year for Alabama. That can't happen this year. Well, I'm just going to stick it with Bama, because now we just going to deal with Bama. That can't happen this year for Bama. So that's what we're looking for, Jacob, is balance. Balance all the way across the board. Balance on both sides of the ball. That's what we're looking for. And if by chance we get a chance to play Michigan again, this time, we're going to tear that end up, man. We ain't taking
I want that to happen so bad. I want that third matchup so bad. I don't know if it'll happen this year, but, man, I need that matchup.
I need y'all to win all y'all games. That's what I need. I need y'all to win all y'all games. Listen, I want you to beat Ohio State. That's what I want. I want it to come down to y'all playing Ohio State and beating them, and that puts y'all in. And Alabama and Michigan meet in the first round of the playoffs. Then me and you gonna get back on here, and in the words of my brother-in-law, we gonna settle it like men.
I know Amber would really be excited for that. She loves Michigan.
I got you. Well, I love Michigan too. Man. I love to beat them. We owe y'all, Jacob. We owe you, man.
You guys owe us two games here. So like I said, I know it'll happen eventually. And now with the expanded 12-team playoffs, we're just gonna play you guys more and more.
Yeah. We won't look in. I'm gonna put what Amber just said. Consistency. Exactly, Amber. That's all I'm trying to say. We need consistency this year.
They're saying that Michigan doesn't want any Bama smoke. Larry says we want our lick back double time.
That's right. We want it back. We owe y'all, Jacob.
I was talking about this, the other day, and it's kind of cool. The last 2 years, we've kind of formed like a little rivalry against you guys. Michigan and Alabama were not really rivals at all, but the last 2 years, it's kind of felt like that, and it's kind of been fun.
And Jacob, it will seem kind of funny, and this is why I'm saying it, man. Let's put the fun back in it. That's why I'm saying I hope Michigan wins all of their games, because I want another shot at you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where the fun comes in, because if we can't play y'all this year, we still feel it's just piano man now.
Yeah.
I feel incomplete. Michigan needs to be there. So I mean, if they don't find anything, I mean, let this go, man. Let this go. If there's nothing there, let it go. Now, if it's something that's there and it breaks a rule, then punish them. I mean, punish them. That's all I'm saying. But do what's right. But if it's nothing there, man, let that foolishness go. And let's get on with the business of playing football. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think we will play you guys again here soon. I don't know if it'll be this season, but like I said, now that the playoffs are expanded, Michigan and Alabama should both make the playoffs every single year. So that's going to lead to a lot of matchups.
Yeah, I mean it's going to happen, but we need that lick back expeditiously.
Stephen Hicks says it's payback time. That's funny.
Yeah, I need to pull out that old James Brown number. Payback. It's the big payback.
Amber says that she loved Milroe, but he crumbled against Michigan. Yeah, Michigan had Milroe's number in both the games. I don't know what his because obviously I watch Bama from a different perspective than all of you guys, but from an outsider perspective, I thought Milroe was always pretty decent. Like, I watched the game versus Georgia last year when you guys beat Georgia, and I was like, wow, Milroe might win the Heisman. And then there was other games where he couldn't do anything. So I don't know how you guys feel about Milroe, but I guess he wasn't consistent.
And that was the problem, just the consistency. But you see, I'm going to put it to you this way. To me, the wheels fell off for him after the Georgia game. After the Georgia game, the wheels fell off.
Yeah, after that game, I thought he was like Heisman. Yeah.
Yeah. But because he could not do the intermediate stuff, or I'm not going to say he couldn't. I don't think that he consistently did it because he was too busy thinking big play, big play, big play, big play. That hurts you in the long grand scheme of things. And then, like KT said, now he was injured, but continued to play. That too, that was going on. There was a lot of different things that were going on. But this year, let's close the book on all of that. Let's turn the page. I talked about that a couple of months ago now. It's time to turn the page.
Sometimes that's just what a program needs too, even if the player is a good player or they are or they're not. Sometimes it's just time for a change and time for somebody new, and I think that's how you guys were with Milroe. I think his time his time is over with, and now it's just a new chapter, and I think that'll be good for everybody.
Now
Some people,
Gil is.
he said Milroe was a terrible. That's what I mean. Milroe was so polarizing. I know people that liked Milroe and said he was a really good quarterback, and then there's people that say he was horrible.
I'm not gonna say he was horrible, because the reason I'm not gonna say he's horrible is because when you go back and you look at his 1-loss record, he won more than he lost. He threw more touchdowns than he did interceptions and everything. So I'm not gonna say he's horrible. I'm just gonna say he was inconsistent.
I just thought of an interesting question that I've never asked you about. Remember that Rose Bowl game where Michigan played Alabama or whatever? What in the world happened to your center?
Crazy.
That I've never seen anything like that. And then he went to Ohio State and he was perfectly fine.
Crazy. And I think that there were real problems.
There's something with that. I know there was something weird happened with that. I don't know what, but
I got to put this up here. Something KT said he felt like he really had to carry the team and had so much talent around him. I think that's one of the problems too, KT. Milroe felt like he had to carry the team. When you put it that way, my thing is that when you put it like that, sometimes we take our roles a little bit too serious. So, Michelle said, I hope y'all keep that same energy when Ty or any other quarterback. I got you. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to just seeing how Ty Simpson is. Like I said, I've heard what I've heard from a lot of your fan base, and everyone says he's going to be good, but I just am excited to see it with my own 2 eyes. I hope he is.
I just think Milroe didn't get the development he needed. That's probably true. But then also factor in mind, everybody, Milroe had 2 or 3 different OCs that he had to work with, and no OC, every OC was different. Their philosophy.
So he never got consistency in the offense for multiple years.
Yeah. And it caused some inconsistencies from him. That's what I'm trying to say. He had 3 different quarterback coaches in his 3 years, and they were all different. And so a lot of people saying Milroe couldn't do the simple things right, but he could make the big play, but couldn't do the little fundamentals. And that's true. That's all part of it. I'm just researching what the fans are saying. Yeah, I got you, Nero, and that's what a lot of them are saying. But now I'm gonna say this too, Nero, and I'm gonna put it out there. And I don't know how long you've been with me, bro, but I don't know if you ever heard me say this. But some fans took those critiques a little too far. And Jacob, they made a racial thing out of it. I'll go on and say it. I'm not afraid to address it.
I've never seen anything about that, but like I said, I don't follow your guys' team that closely like you guys all do. I've never seen anything like that. But yeah, that's where people just take it too far. Stick to football. If you didn't like him as your quarterback, that's one thing. But
yeah, they made a race. I didn't hear about it. Yeah, they made a race thing out of it, and you would have to be in other chats in order to know that what was going on. Because I had to leave a chat because it got so bad in there. Because it was about to make me go and go find some folks. I really was, because when what people like, and this is where this is where people have problems with a particular style of quarterback. I'm just gonna say this: the pocket quarterbacks, that day is almost over. Just running.
We were just talking about that
quarterback that does it from a traditional way. Yeah. That day almost gone.
We were just talking about that the other day in one of a different chat, and yeah, man, the traditional pocket passer like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, that's almost totally dead now. Everybody that you
Yeah.
see, most quarterbacks that you see nowadays, they can at least, they're either a true dual threat, like a Jaden Daniels or a Lamar or something like that, or they can at least move some. You don't see many statues in the pocket anymore. The game has just evolved so much.
Yeah, so I think that where the issue comes in is the traditional pocket quarterback.
Like Mac Jones, you guys had Mac Jones. He was a traditional pocket passer, and he was pretty good.
Yeah, he was pretty good. He was just traditional, and see, but he played within the system. He played in that particular system. Mac Jones played within that system. Now I know Gil Cruz is about to wow me out right here, but see, notice something. As a starter, Tua didn't get the job done. Tua came in as a backup and beat Georgia and all that good stuff. But in Tua's starting year, he did not lead them to the championship. Mac Jones came in the next year and boom, pow, and did the doggone thing. He did that.
Yeah, that 2020 season, Mac Jones was awesome.
And there was a reason that Mac Jones was considered a Heisman Trophy candidate that year. Mac, it was Mac, it was Smitty, it was Trevor Lawrence too, right? I think so.
Justin Fields, I think Justin Fields too, I believe.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that a lot of those guys don't play that quarterback position like that anymore and everything. But now I will say this: I really thank the Lord for Jalen Milroe, because there were some games I feel like that we would have lost if he hadn't have been in there. But there were some games that we did lose because he was too easy to figure out.
I don't know if you agree or how you feel about it, but I saw a comment. Amber said, without Milroe, you guys might have lost 6 or 7 games.
Yeah.
So, like you said, I think you summed it up the best. It's better for both sides at this point just to move on. Milroe obviously kind of his welcome at Alabama was kind of over with. And because I remember he did have one more year eligibility, I believe, and they were talking about if he was going to come back. And I think that would have been a situation like Carson Beck at Miami, where he would have transferred, because I don't think Alabama would have guaranteed him a starting job for another year, and they might have tried to tell him that transferring was the best. Is that what you think?
That was Double A that said that. Ann said that he would have we would have lost 6 or 7. That was Ann.
Yeah, she said Ann, my bad. It was hard to see.
That was Ann. Yeah, Ann, okay. Amber, all them, but
Amber, yeah, there's so many A names. Anita.
Yeah. Anitra up in oh Lord. If Anitra up in here, it's time to go. Because she's finna get started here in just a minute. Anitra, I don't trust her. I don't trust Anitra and KT.
Now there's Angela. There's so many A names. Angela.
Yeah, good morning, Angela. Roll Tide. I don't trust Gil Cruz, Anitra. Let me see, Gil Cruz, Anitra. Let me see, Susan. It's a couple of Steven, Latoya, them 5 right there. And ever so often, Dr. Crystal might throw one in there, and the governor of Discord might throw one in there. And everything. I don't trust them when all of them get together. I don't trust them. I just don't.
What do you think would have happened if Milroe returned for another season? Do you think he would have hit the transfer portal, or do you think that he would have been welcomed at Alabama?
I think some of the other guys would have hit the transfer portal.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
I think some of the other guys, because there were too many of them that were disgusted with him. They were very disgusted. Okay, I'm gonna give you a good for instance. We had a young guy. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait. Where my Bible at? Here we go. I'm gonna look up where is Ole Miss. I cannot think of this guy's name. We had a guy, and y'all help me out with the name. He was a tight end. The dude was good. Yeah, I got to go get my field still.
Did he play for Alabama?
Played for Alabama and transferred to Ole Miss this past year. He was a tight end. Well, what happened, the game that I'm getting at is when we played Tennessee. We played Tennessee. This dude was wide open. Oh, Caleb Odom. Thank you. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Good morning, Milton. Thank you, Double L. Caleb Odom was wide open. I'm talking about Jacob. He was so wide open, nobody was within 15 yards of him. He would have walked in. He would have walked in. If Milroe would have just gotten that ball to him just one time, Jacob, that would have changed the whole trajectory of that game. You know what Milroe was doing? Trying to get the ball to Ryan Williams and was overthrowing him then. That's the inconsistencies that everyone's talking about.
That's what I noticed.
Those little plays like that kept Bama from winning games that they should have won. Point number 2. See, as much as I love Milroe, I also had to critique his play sometime because in the Oklahoma game, he thought that he would be able to do what he did against LSU and hit that edge and nobody could catch him. He forgot he was going up against a defensive guru in Greg Venables.
Yeah.
They bracketed him. They bracketed that edge. And when they bracketed the edge,
they put a spy on him and they never let him. They never lost contain and they never let him get the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm being honest with you, they didn't let him get the edge.
You want to know one thing I noticed about Milroe that I noticed from the 2 games that you guys played against us, and we obviously faced Milroe twice. It seemed like for how athletic he was definitely a superior athlete. He took a lot of sacks. It almost was like sometimes he would stand in that pocket too long, and it's just like, man, you're a freak athlete. Use that God-given talent and get out of there and, spin out of that pocket and take off with it. But man, especially that Rose Bowl, especially the Rose Bowl, the Reliaquist Bowl, it was rain and it was kind of whatever. I don't even know if either team, it was whatever. But especially that Rose Bowl, man, it was almost like sometimes he tried to prove that he could throw it from the pocket, but he would take some sacks where he wouldn't even try to scramble or move. It was just weird because he's so athletic. I don't know. Just one thing I noticed, like, man, he's a freak athlete. You can spin out of that pocket and take off, but he would just almost take some sacks that it didn't seem like he needed to take.
Yeah, and that was my only problem. He won the games that he won. Crucial. Yeah. Times that he was on, crucial. But sometimes he made decisions. Okay, like you were talking about the sacks. Okay. Just say, for instance, if he had taken off and started running, those games, we would have won. We would have won them.
That's what I meant. Every quarterback gets sacked, but I'm not even comparing him athletically to Lamar Jackson. He's not that, I don't think. But, he has superior plus athleticism traits. And it just seemed like he took too many sacks. It's like, man, spin out of that pocket and take off and extend the play. It's almost, he was taking sacks like he couldn't move. I don't know. It just was weird. It seemed like sometimes maybe he was trying to prove he could be a pocket passer because people said he couldn't. I don't know. It was just weird to me. I think we sacked him 6 times in the Rose Bowl. And it was like, I don't think Milroe is ever a guy that should be sacked 6 times.
Yeah, and then like Steven said, the sacks kind of was crappy because of the crappy O-line. And that had a lot to do with it too because the O-line was not solid.
That defense that we had in 2023 was just unbelievable.
We
were bringing pressure on him from all over the place. He didn't really, he didn't have a chance. But sometimes I was just like, man, you at least got to try to spin out of the pocket and make a move. He just was, almost just like,
I'm going to tell you like this. when we played y'all in that Rose Bowl, and Jacob, I went back and looked at the game. I went back and looked at it.
Yeah, he froze up. Someone in chat said he froze up a lot. That's kind of how I felt. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you like this: when we played, I went back and looked at the game. When Milroe would hand that ball off to Jam and Justice and all those guys that were playing running back then, and was running to the Bama right side there, which would be Michigan's weak side over there. Bama was killing them. Michigan had no answer for Bama's running backs just running off the edge to the right. I'm being honest with you. And if they just had kept on running the ball, just running to the right, just running to that strong side there, man, it was all over with.
That was like I always say, that was a great game, man. You guys had us on the ropes. I think the play that changed the game was just that Milroe fumble. I remember Milroe took off with it to the left side, and he fumbled the ball. You guys were driving on us. I believe you guys already had a lead on us at that point, and you guys were driving on us again.
And
that was the turning point of the game.
Yeah, cause that one mistake, but he led us back into it. But I believe the wrong play was called, and it was a lot of different things. Michelle said we as fans take players too seriously. We need to really lay off these players and stop being analysts. But man, I agree with you, Michelle. But also at the same time, for those of us that have played the game, we that's part of us. That's that part we can't help. But you know how I roll with it. Me and you've had this conversation, and you know how I roll with it. I'm calling it like I see it, but it's never nothing to hurt anybody. But I have addressed, I'm going to go back and say it again. I have addressed the racial issue. I've addressed that, and we'll continue to address it. That some of these folks, not in my chat, because y'all know I'll put up with that foolishness. And I got some, and Jacob, I got some mods in here that will help escort someone on up out of here, never to return. But
like I said, I've never seen any of that type of stuff on Twitter about him, but I'm glad I didn't, because like I said, end of the day, it's just, if you don't like him as a quarterback's one thing, but people take stuff way too personally, or make personal comments, and obviously horrible comments.
But that's why I said what Dwight is saying: part O-line, part Milroe, part OC, part locker room. You had a lot of stuff going on, and so that was that. Milroe did the best that he could. Now, addressing what you asked, what would have happened if Milroe had to come back? I think his time was over, but no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna leave that right there because I don't want Michelle jumping on me. I don't want Michelle jumping on me. Her double A. What's going on here? There we go. No excuses when you play. Play from. You got social media. Destroy the fun of watching it. Yeah, I got you. I got you, Michelle. I understand, but you do know I'm not coming from a sense of disrespect. You do know I'm not coming from a place of disrespect. I'm just coming from a place, And
she said when a player is getting death threats, way too far.
It has gone too far.
We just dealt with that with obviously I'm a Michigan fan, but Ohio State, we beat Ohio State, and there was so many crazy people. Like, they sent death threats to Ryan Day. I'm pretty sure security had to stay at his house, and that is where, we all love college football, but people take it way too far. It's not that serious. No one needs to get killed over it. No one needs to threaten anyone. If you go on Twitter, you see some crazy stuff.
Oh gosh!
But at the end of the day, it's just a game.
Yeah.
I don't hate anyone because of what team they like or anything like that.
Yep. Me neither. And when and Michelle, do y'all remember when and I brought this up with Wilkin Formby? They were literally hammering Wilkin Formby. That was me and Double A. Me and Double A talked about this too. I think, Michelle, I had the same conversation with you in the chat as well. Wilkin Formby was going through it. And I don't know how many of you all keep up with the HBCUs, with the HBCUs, but one year when Jackson State was playing someone, national TV, Jackson State was going in for the win. Shador threw the ball to the tight end at the goal line, and he dropped it for the win. That young brother got death threats all over the place.
Do you remember Mark Andrews this last year in the playoffs for Baltimore?
Yes.
He dropped the 2-point conversion. He said he got the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always every fan base. It don't matter, NFL, college. There's horrible fans in every fan base that take things too far.
Yeah, and I mean, it is crazy. So I'm with you, Michelle, and you know I'm staying with all of you. You, Double A, JB, all of y'all, Steven, everybody, Jacob. I stand when stuff goes too far, when it's gone too far. I think I saw Michelle say something earlier in the chat where you have to leave chats. I had to just leave a whole chat, delete myself from it because of the things that were said about Jalen Milroe. Okay, player has a bad game or so. I got that part. But when you go to talking about his character, when you go to talking about his skin color and this and that and the third, and then try to associate it with the position that he plays, and now you want him unalived and all that kind of stuff, you've taken your fandom too far. And now it becomes personal.
Exactly.
And me as and I'm gonna say this, Jacob, and me as a black man, I'm not gonna just sit back and allow anybody to demean another person like that. I don't care who they are. That's why here I love my crew, because everybody gets the respect thing over here, and especially our ladies. Our ladies, we don't play that. We just don't. JB, Bino, Dwight, Gary, Uncle Jay, OG Gill, myself, we will escort your butt up out of here with the quickness, and you will never ever get the chance to come back on this platform when you call yourself disrespecting, especially our females. We're not going to have that. And so when it comes down to our players, whether it's Jalen Hurt, it doesn't matter who it is. We're not going to allow it. We just don't allow it. I'm not going to let anybody disrespect you, Jacob. No, sir. No, not over here. Now, I don't give a darn what they do over on somebody else's channel. That's them. But where I hang out, it's gonna be some law and order going on. We talk a lot of smack, we talk a lot of stuff, but I'm with Michelle and with Double A. When it gets to going too far and it gets personal, I have issues with that. I take issues because I'm old enough to know and remember being called the N-word by racists to my face. No, it didn't feel good. And and when I had enough of it, I knocked the hell out of a boy. I did. I tore that end up, man. I couldn't take it no more. I did. Piano Man lost it. I lost it, y'all. That's the flaw I have. I may as well go on and say it. Yeah, I did. Flag me, whatever you want. Yeah, I did. He called me out of my name. I had enough of it. And when I had enough of it, Jacob, I knocked him dead in his mouth.
I mean, he deserved it. So, I mean, yeah, I don't blame you there.
I sent him to the dentist. I tell you what, and that was one dental bill my parents didn't have to foot, because those people knew how what their son was about. They knew.
Right.
They knew, but they also knew what window was about. I'll take your stuff only so far. But when you cross that line, then I have to ask God to forgive me, but I'm going on and commence with the commencing. Let's go on. I did see
one comment.
Graduation ceremony.
I saw one comment in the chat. It said, "How much does a big game cost at the Big House?" I I would say depending on the game, but it could maybe. I went to the Texas game last year, and depending on obviously where you sit in the game, I would say a couple hundred, probably maybe two,
Yep.
depending. But if you go to like the game versus Ohio State, you can pay a lot of money. It can be 500 or more. So it really depends
All
on
right,
the game. But if you just go to a regular game, it's not overly bad. But yeah, when you start getting into the premier matchups like Ohio State or Penn State or Texas or whatever, you're gonna start paying a couple hundred.
yeah. And, like I'm sitting here looking at the Wisconsin and Alabama game, September 13. Now depending, because they are Big Ten,
Yeah.
And everything. But where I normally sit, if I got 2 tickets, and where I normally sit is going to be like right there. It's an amazing deal according to SeatGeek, and so it's $270. That's not
Yeah,
bad for where.
that sounds about right. Yeah.
That's not really bad. What's up, Gary? That's
No,
not
that's
really bad for Wisconsin. However, and on the
right.
other hand, now watch this. Wait a minute. Here we go. Now here's Tennessee on the other hand. Where I normally sit, if I was going to sit in this Wisconsin game, I'll sit in the same spot.
How much did that cost you?
$665 for one ticket.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It depends on the
No.
matchup.
Let me take the bet. Whoa.
That's
Wait,
probably
let me
for
go back to
two
one ticket.
tickets, I would guess.
One ticket. Let me take that back. One ticket. All right. Yeah. Where I normally sit, $665. Yep. And that's a conference game. That's Tennessee.
Yeah. And it just really, like you said, it depends on the matchup. If you're playing a big team or a rival, it can get pricey, that's for sure.
Uh-huh. And so that, so that's why I was saying yesterday, what game would people really want to go and see? I know I'm getting ready to order mine. I was going to do it yesterday, but y'all know I'm making a life change yesterday. And so I got to get my tickets. I think I'm still going to the ULM game, but I did not know that the Wisconsin game was going to be as cheap as it was. And so I would change that. And go to Wisconsin. But I think I'm going to, I'm just going to leave it where it is and go to ULM and enjoy myself and all that good stuff. And have
in the
a good
chat,
old time.
he said Georgia Bama ticket prices are going to be ridiculous. Yeah, I imagine that's going to be just like the Michigan Ohio State game, and that's where you get into $600-$700 tickets.
Hold up, I'll tell you in just a minute.
Which is just unbelievable.
Hold up, because I saw it in here. All right, let me see.
Will Wisconsin get back to winning 11 games a season? I'm going to say no.
I think no.
Have you looked at Wisconsin's schedule this year? They got like the hardest schedule of anybody. They play you guys, they play Oregon, they play Ohio State, they play Michigan. Man, they got a hard schedule. I almost feel kind of bad.
I was looking at it yesterday. Here we go. I got it pulled up right here. Wisconsin. I'm gonna say this, then we're gonna get ready to get out of here. Here's their schedule. They play Miami of Ohio. They play Middle Tennessee. They come to Bama. They play Maryland. They come to Michigan. They play Iowa. They play Ohio State. They go to Oregon. They play Washington. They go to Indiana. They play Illinois, and they go to Minnesota.
Yeah, that's a hard schedule.
Really
they had a 4-week stretch of Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, and Oregon. I mean, that's just brutal. And then throw in Alabama on the road, and I mean that is. I almost feel bad for Wisconsin. I think Luke Fickell is probably going to get fired here soon.
Yeah,
he's got to be on his way out the door, I think.
I'm looking for something here. They were asking about. I was just going to look and see NCAA football.
He said $1,000 for good seats. Yeah, that's just crazy, man. I'd rather just sit at home and watch on TV, eat some good food, have some drinks.
I'm going
relax.
to now I will be going to Jackson State. Hampton's coming to Jackson State this year. So I'm thinking about going to that one.
That'll be cool.
That's going to be a good game. I love going to see those SWAC teams play and all that good stuff. So it's going to be all cool. It's going to be cool. So anyway,
Stephen Hicks, yeah, I agree with Stephen Hicks. The best seat for a big game is on your couch.
Yeah, watching it, in the company of your home and everything. Yep. So just having a good thing, having a good time and all that kind of stuff. So Anyway, I've enjoyed myself. Thankful for Jacob. We didn't have any hiccups today. And again, we can find Jacob at Underwood Unleashed on Twitter. And one of these days, we're gonna hog tie Jacob into getting his podcast started. Between Amber and myself, we gonna put you in there, dog. We gonna put you in there.
Yeah, like I said, that's something that I will probably start up eventually. But like I said, I've really just started getting into this, so I appreciate you having me on your channel. And like I said, anytime you want me on, just shoot me a message or whatever. And it's been really fun. So thanks for the opportunity.
Oh man, anytime, big dog, anytime. You're my brother, you, Amber, all of y'all. But soon as we can get some of them cats from over there in the chat to come up in here and everything, I hope and pray that we can have a real live roundtable discussion, a good panel and everything going like we do over there when I'm with Sharpshooter, with B Sharp and them. That's the ultimate roundtable with B Sharp, Coach Sean, Tiz, Ty Hayes, some of the big dogs, man. And it's just real. And then Kangaroo Black. I'm also with Kangaroo Black every Friday night, Jacob, right here. We're keeping it a buck. And so, nothing is going to change, even though for those of you that don't know, today is the last day of the summer series, but it's not the last day of Piano Man. Yesterday, I kept it from everybody, but I did talk to my Dwight. He said it was 5 o'clock in the morning. Every day's 5 o'clock in the morning with Dwight. But I did tell him that I have retired from my job. And so I'm about to enjoy retirement, but I'm about to give myself a lot more time perfecting my craft and everything. So it's going to be fun. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of different things. So Jacob and I are going to be dialoguing every let's just say every Tuesday. That'll work?
Yeah, that sounds great. Yep.
Yeah, we'll dialogue every Tuesday. And so talking Alabama, Michigan, SEC, Big Ten. We're going to go from there, but we're going to have fun with it. And
during the season, we could recap the previous weekend's games and then talk about the coming up weekend, and that'd be
weekend.
Great.
Exactly. And so I'm telling you all again that the second week, the second ball game, that Oklahoma Michigan game. I'm telling you now. Watch that game. Watch that game. I'm calling it now. That game is going to make or break both teams. I'm telling you, it's going to make them or break them. That game right there is going to be fire. And so you got that right. KB is the man, Amber. KB is the man. And he invited me to be a part of him. So it's all good. It's all good. And so hanging with you, Jacob, hanging with KB, hanging with B Sharp, hanging with Coach Sean and Tiz and Coach Carr, Coach Al, hanging with DSG B84, just hanging with all of them, man. It's been a joy to me. What's up, Twister?
Stephen Hicks, that's the plan. He said just beat Ohio State. That is the plan. That is the mantra that we live by. So 5 in a row, I think would really,
if y'all beat Ohio State 5 years in a row, Jacob, I'm gonna have a party like no other.
DSG, thank you. You're a Georgia fan. You guys whooped us in 2021. So, yeah, congrats to you. You guys have a very good program.
Yeah. But just beat Ohio State. That's all I had.
That's
you all right with me,
our
but
goal.
I just can't do it. I can't do it. Can't do it. But I do want Ohio State to beat Texas now. I want that to happen. But
that should be a great game.
Yeah, I hope Ohio State beats them. And I'm gonna tell you why I want Ohio State to beat them. I'm sick of listening about Arch Manning. I'm sick of listening to
it.
Yeah,
SEC people are so sick of Texas, I feel like.
I'm sick of listening about Arch Manning. I don't give a hoot if he promotes Archway cookies. I'm sick of listening about Arch Manning. I'm sick of listening to him. So anyway, but man, it's great to have you, Jacob, and the Lord willing and the creek don't rise next Tuesday, bro. We're gonna be right back here, and we're gonna now we can begin to look forward to training camp, and we're gonna be listening for the news to come out of training camp. So don't be surprised, Jacob, if you're not back with me 2 times next week, because we do know training camp starts next week, but we might come on a little bit later. I'm gonna see what's happening, and I might come back on a little bit later on some days, and we begin to talk about training camp, and then we can start really, as they say, we can just come on in, man.
Yeah, sounds great.
We can come on, and so I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So therefore, people in the chat, just get ready. Your time is coming. I promise you. Your time is coming. Piano Man turned into a robot. I don't know what I'm doing, but I have to tighten up on the internet, I guess. Paid the bill. I paid the bill. I don't know what else to say. But anyway, shout out to all content creators and podcasters everywhere. Just remember that our voices are being heard, our faces remembered, our content is being appreciated. Keep doing your thing, stay in your lane, work your lane, do your thing. No sense in being jealous of another podcaster, creator. No sense in all that. Don't be jealous. Just do your thing. Let them do theirs. And if it's something that you think that you can help them with, help them and quit trying to hurt them and all that good stuff. And just remember, in the words of my pastor, Bishop Kenneth Preston, stay focused, drive, and go forward. Also, I want to shout out all those guys that I just named. Y'all already know who they are. I just everybody that's on my list, Clint Lamb, all those guys from Bama Standard, Justin Riley, Marvin Constant, Zach Pitcher Gaming, all y'all, everybody. Coach Sean, Coach Carr, Coach Al, Coach Ty Hay, B Sharp, KB, Tez, SE Season, Jonathan Lewis. Now, Jonathan Lewis is a guy you need to get in touch with too, and invite him on to Underwood Unleashed, Jacob.
Okay.
He is a recruiter's guru. I'm telling you, man, he's a recruiter's guru. SGB84, the final whistle, way outside. Kyle Henderson, the man. KB, Kyle Henderson. Those are the guys you want. Those are the guys you want in your camp. And everybody that I'm naming. And for those of you that wants a lot of other Bama insider stuff, you always know I talk about the Tide 100.9. Because when this podcast is over, I'm turning on my radio and Tide 100.9, and I'll be getting ready for Miller's Edge and all of those guys. But shout out to my man, Ryan Fowler, Hall of Fame Jason, Stephen M. Smith, all those guys, again, from Bama Standard, Jake Merrill, Jan 716, Bam Dam Sports, LaQuasia. We need to get LaQuasia up to over 1,000. I want to do that expeditiously. And that Tight Sports and the Alabama football and many others I support those guys. And I may not see you today or tomorrow personally, but I'll see you in the long run. And just remember, Jacob. I'm no expert. I do know what I'm talking about, though. I really do. I'm no expert, but I do know what I'm talking about. So until tomorrow, I'm celebrating retirement. I'm retired. Let me drink me some. Here's to the blue stuff.
That is awesome. Congrats. Like I said, congrats again. That is awesome. And yeah, looking forward to the season and doing more shows with you. So like I said, just thanks for having me on. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun season.
Yeah, I hear you. We're gonna have some fun, man. And I want to bring in some of the other guys from our other chat to begin to dialogue. But I'm looking for some I'm actually looking for some like some guys from the ACC, some guys from the Big 12, some more from I got the SEC, you with the Big 10. I want to put a conference dialogue together, and I want us to be able to do that every week, and we can get that going, and we're just gonna do things to look at, and just to boost the channel here. I got something else in the works somewhere else and all that kind of stuff. So y'all just, Piano Man's not done and everything, but thank y'all for a great summer. But now it's time to move on to the fall. And I will be here tomorrow morning, same time, with the long run with Piano Man. And we're just going to have a good time. Tell everybody that let's boost our numbers up. I'm up to 270, so I need 30 more people to make 300. And then we're going to start moving in. We're going to start looking at the next 200 so we can get up to 500 subscribers and so we can make it happen. Thank you, Amber, for the link up and everything. You my ace boom coon. You know what that means. You and Jacob, y'all going to be all right before the Saints go marching in and all that kind of stuff. LaToya, honeybees, bzzz, you and Susan. Okay, let me finish my outro. So till the next time, look here, F the trees. Hedges, everybody else that's opposed to Bama, we don't like you, you don't like us. So just remember, forget them trees, forget the hedges and all the other Bama opponents. FSU in 38 days. You're going to find out who your dad really is. You're going to take the paternity test, FSU, and it's going to come back. I can't wait for that game. Bama is your daddy.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that game.
Bama is your daddy. What's his name? Maury Povich or whoever that is going to read that little thing there. He's going to say, Maury. Yeah, Maury. Maury. Not Maury. FSU, you're first. Maury Povich is on standby with the paternity results in his hand, and it's going to read that we are your daddy. So FSU, you're first. Buster, you know what I'm about to tell you, Buster. Buster, that job's still waiting on you, player. Job with benefits, so you can, do what you got to do and everything. Job awaits you. 3-stroke Charlie, the doctor see you now, and Billy, you still too short to play basketball. So everybody have a great day. Hey, tonight I believe it's going to be KB in the win. KB going to be doing it up. And I hear you. And DSGB 84, I'm going to see you this weekend, you and Dad. The word for the day is job. Matter of fact, some people need 2 jobs in order to catch up, and they know what I mean when I say that. And this is not your job. This is your hobby. Okay. So we're going to be doing that. DSGB, what time? 12 West Coast time. And that'll be 2 hour time down here in the South. And Uncle Buck says, duh. See, Jacob, it gets stupid right about now at this part. That's when everybody was, DSGB said 10 a.m. West Coast time. So that'd be 12 hour time. Got you, Jacob. Got your DSGB 84. So join in. Let's go. Let's hang out with DSGB. He's always with us. He said, okay, I ain't getting in there, Jacob. You see what Amber wrote down?
Yeah. What game is she talking? I think she's talking about the Florida State game. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a good one to do because I kind of got a feeling it's going to be a whole lot of drunk folks that day. But
oh yeah, first week of college football is going to be crazy.
It's gonna be crazy, man. But anyway, but just remember FSU, you first. Forget the trees and the hedges and all that kind of stuff. Buster, go get a job. Job. J-O-B, Buster. Job. 3-stroke Charlie. Doctor gonna see you. And Billy, you still too short to play basketball. Until tonight with KB in the morning, same time, right here with Piano Man. Everybody have a great day. Again, thanks, Jacob, for hanging out. Jacob, I'm gonna see you in a minute over in the other chat. Let's go make it happen, man. Let's go make it happen.
Sounds good. And like I said, thanks for having me on. Thanks to the chat. It's fun talking to all of you guys. And yeah, I look forward to being back on next week. So yeah, thanks. And I'll see you guys next week.
See you next week. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Roll Tide. And y'all have a great day.